Welcome to Henry Borch Memorial Gym here on the campus of Newton High School as Muggs Media presents the high school wrestling match of the week, and it's an early season showdown between the two top teams in the Freedom Division of the NJAC, as the host Newton Braves will come in a record of 3-3 under their longtime coach Eric Billette host the High Point Wildcats, who come in a record of 9-1 for Sussex County Sports Hall of Famer Johnny Gardner. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on Channel 10 and MuggsMedia.com. And we want to thank the following sponsors for getting the games of the week on the air. Orthopedic Institute New Jersey, with offices throughout Northwest New Jersey. Check out their Live Well tips on the sports beat. Tim's Auto and Truck Repair, Loomis Avenue in Sussex. Watch Tim's Auto tips on the games of the week. Newton Medical Center, part of the Atlantic Health System, serving the community, atlantichealth.org. Sussex County Community College, start here, go anywhere. Right down the street, our friend Jesse Rowe at Home Furniture Warehouse, 75 Mill Street. Great furniture. He's a big supporter of high school wrestling. Go see our friend Jesse Rowe. Tony's Pizza and Pasta Restaurant, Route 94 in Hardison, baking fresh meals to perfection, homemade pasta dinners, hot and cold suds, and of course, delicious pizza. Tony's delivers and is open 7 days a week. Tony's Pizza and Pasta. Give them a call today at 973-209-7775. Garden Life and Massage and Yoga Center, located in the Boulder Hills Mall, Route 23 in Wantage, celebrating 14 years. And the Newton Pride Foundation, proud sponsors of all games and matches here on Muggs Media involving Newton. They are proud. They are built for the foundation, is built for the benefit of the students of the Newton School District. For more information, go to newtonnjpride.org. And finally, Oars Clothes for Country Living, downtown Branchville, longtime sponsor of wrestling here at Muggs Media. The Orr family, well known in High Point Nation as far as their store and as far as wrestlers. Well, this is our first match of the 2018 season. It should be a good one. I'm going to bring in my partner, former Kittatinny wrestler and coach, Nick DeGennaro. Happy New Year, Nick. Another season's here.
Happy New Year, Dan. Yes, it is.
We're ringing in a new year with a great match. Newton with one of its best squads it's had since its sectional title days of 2010. They have a great team. They wrestled well at the Border Schools this past weekend. They had losses to South Plainfield and Paulsboro. No shame in that. High Point coming in, only one loss when they went to the Zephyr Duels, losing to Liberty. No shame in that. Your thoughts about tonight's match and what's the keys going to be?
Well, this is going to be really the tale of two matches, because in the lower weights, High Point's going to be the clear favorite. In the upper weights, Newton's going to be the clear favorite. And this match really could come down to three weight classes. 126, 170, and 285 are going to be big matches. Now, also, not working in High Point's favor is they're going to be without their 106-pounder, Devin Lebo. So that's going to be a forfeit for Newton. So that's going to be at least a 9-point swing in Newton's favor.
Now, the last time Newton was able to beat High Point was all the way back in 2003, a 31-27 victory. Last year, High Point posted a 39-24 win. But what's this do for this Newton program in front of this big crowd tonight if they find a way to win?
Well, it'll be a huge boost to the program. It's something that helps you at all levels. You got elementary school kids watching this match here, and those are kids that are going to get pumped up if you're in the Newton community with a big win. It'll be something that they remember. It'll help to get more kids into the sport, and vice versa. Same thing for High Point. You know, this is a big match, not just for this conference title, but also seeding for sectionals, which is now a loaded section with High Point, Newton, Kittatinny, Jefferson.
Yep.
So it's huge in this season, but long term, if Newton can pull off this win here tonight, this is one of those moments where you might be able to look back and say, this is when the worm really turned for Newton, and now, instead of being behind High Point and Kittatinny, who they've had success against in the past, they're now back up there again, and would be huge for Coach Eric Billette and his program.
And also a great tune-up, the HWS tournament this weekend in Phillipsburg. So a lot of good wrestling on tap tonight. And we'll have the beginning of this match right after this here on Channel 10 and MuggsMedia.com.
We really encourage our beginners to come to Garden of Life because we don't want anyone to be afraid, and we take, in our fundamental classes, we break down the poses to the basics. We move very slowly, and we create a practice that's good for all bodies. There's this misconception that you have to be supple and limber and strong. No, you just have to have a really positive attitude, because there are yoga poses for everybody. There's yoga for healing. We also do therapeutic massages and yoga privates. So for those that are really needing to break down the poses, we do privates, very simple. We have fundamental classes where we just take each pose step by step by step. So everybody gets into the practice at their own level safely, with a big smile on their face when they leave here.
Hi, my name is Dr. Robert DeFalco. I'm an orthopedic surgeon from the Orthopedic Institute of New Jersey. The Orthopedic Institute of New Jersey is a complete musculoskeletal practice. We have board-certified physicians who specialize in the operative and non-operative treatment of any musculoskeletal problem.
We try to evaluate, educate, and treat the patient. Here we utilize a multidisciplinary approach, taking full advantage of the wonderful orthopedic, pain management, spinal care, and physical therapy professionals at the practice.
We have a very large practice with a number of different doctors with many different subspecialties, and it's an incredible asset.
The expertise of our physicians and the professionalism of our staff is what I believe sets our practice apart. This allows us to provide timely, personalized, high-quality care to our patients.
I take particular pride in knowing that the patient is well cared for and that their experience at the Orthopedic Institute of New Jersey has either met or exceeded their expectations. It's very rewarding seeing patients get back to their active lifestyles.
The team here at the Orthopedic Institute is outstanding. Without this team, I would have never made this team. And I mean that with every fiber of my being.
At the Orthopedic Institute of New Jersey, we believe you don't need to travel to receive world-class care. We have 4 major locations, including Hackettstown, Roxbury, Newton, and Sparta, and multiple satellite locations serving northern New Jersey and eastern Pennsylvania.
When it comes to caring for the unexpected, take comfort in knowing that our emergency department is prepared and equipped to take care of all patients' needs, from minor injuries to more advanced life-threatening illnesses like heart attacks and strokes. No other provider can match the experience, commitment to quality, and access to state-of-the-art technology available at Newton Medical Center. And as part of Atlantic Health System, we're also the only facility seamlessly connected to all the resources and medical experts at Morristown Medical Center and our sister hospitals for the breadth of high-quality and nationally ranked services offered throughout our network.
Tony's Pizza and Pasta in Hardiston, a family-owned and operated business. Stop in for a slice or a full meal. Catering is available and delivery is always free. Tony's Pizza and Pasta, Hardiston Mercantile Mall, Route 94 in Hardiston.
Welcome back to Newton High School as Muggs Media presents the high school wrestling match of the week. High Point against Newton, first match of the Freedom Division scheduled for both of these guys. 2 great coaches, Johnny Gardner with well over 300 wins, Eric Billette over 200 wins. Should be a great match tonight. We're going to start at 182. Nick, your thoughts on starting 182? Any sort of benefit for either team?
Well, we're going to get a couple of the toss-up matches pretty quick. I misspoke before the match. Really, we're looking at 170, 220, 285. So that are going to be toss-up kind of matches, but the way Tom Hubmaster has been wrestling this year, maybe 285 isn't a toss-up.
All right, we'll start at 182. And that looks like Joey DeLuca from Newton. And for High Point, it'd be Grayson Sabo. Sabo comes in with a record of 10-3, DeLuca 10-3 as well. Good match to start this off.
Absolutely.
And DeLuca with the quick 2.
And with this crowd, Newton students, one thing they do here is they come out and support their teams. They're going to get very loud. DeLuca, if he can roll up some points here, you're going to get a lot of support behind Newton. They can get some momentum. And that's the key for beating the High Point team that we've seen get on rolls the last couple of years.
So Wildcat Express gets going. Get out of the way. So DeLuca up top. He has the early 2-0 lead. 32 seconds into this first period. We'll come back to the middle.
And really, what's going to be a key, besides those toss-up outs, is going to be bonus points. And this is a High Point team that's very experienced in getting bonus points and not giving them up.
DeLuca coming off a great football season as an offensive lineman, state champs, North 1 Group 2. And Grayson Sabo had a very nice year for Jimmy Delaney over at High Point. And due to a discrepancy, and not a discrepancy, but a flaw in the PowerPoint system, High Point didn't make the states, although they won 6 games. Grayson had a good year.
There were some teams that were very happy High Point didn't make the sectional playoffs because nobody wanted to play them. Their style of play, their physicality, you know, Coach did a great job up there. They had a great group of kids, very successful season. It's a shame that they didn't make the playoffs.
DeLuca hanging on, 35 seconds to go. He still has the 2-0 lead. DeLuca
now, what this is
working his way
telling
up.
DeLuca right now is if he's going to rack up points, he's not going to be able to do it on top. He's going to have to let Sabo go and take advantage of the defeat, and it's a slow process.
And
but
our
getting
first
that
stall.
stalling will help.
3 seconds. And the first period will come to an end with Joey DeLuca holding a 2-0 lead over Grayson Sabo. And we'd be remiss not to say Grayson Sabo's dad, Bill Sabo, internationally known wrestler, wrestled at Franklin back in the day. One of the best wrestlers ever to come out of this area. So we're about ready to the second period. Sabo on top. DeLuca trying to get out for the escape. Working on it, and we'll come back to the middle.
And Sabo's going to have to be careful there because if he pulls them back, he stays up on the feet too long, he's going to get another stalling call. If you're going to give up one, give up one. Don't give up one and then another one. And then be on the feet where DeLuca has clearly got the advantage.
And DeLuca will spin out and pick up the escape. 3-0 lead for the senior from Newton. As the crowd continues to file in here.
Well, it's going to be a full house, that's for sure. I think it's a full house now.
I would say so. On the edge of the mat, no points yet. And we'll come back to the middle. It's not 0 degrees out like it was last week. Some people are out and about.
No, it's a heat wave. We reached, what, 34?
Good to see Ralph Gardner right in his spot. Even on the road, he gets right dead center. Johnny Gardner's father. DeLuca with the 3-0 advantage. A minute to go here in the second period. Trying to lock it up, and he'll get the points. Good job by DeLuca as he goes up 5-0.
Well, and Sabo did a nice job keeping the hands tied up. Again, he's making DeLuca work for every point. Even the escape earlier in this period, he's not getting anything quickly, and that can get a little frustrating. The 26 seconds to go. Do you want to risk letting him go here? It's really not a lot of time.
Let's talk about who these guys have wrestled. High Point at the Zephyr duels. You know, you run into Liberty, they're always good, and they beat some other teams like East Stroudsburg. But the Borch duels here, that was Hammer City. Paulsboro, Hanover Park, South Plainfield, Newton. These guys prepared for this match.
Absolutely. And I'd like to think that Eric Billette took a little of that, being in John Gill's program. You know, you want your team to get to a certain point. You've got to wrestle teams that are at the top. That's how you learn to win. That's how you win championships. And that means you're going to take some losses along the way.
Absolutely.
But your ultimate goal, I don't care who you are, if you're a high school coach, your goal is to win a state championship. So what do you need to do to win a state championship? Some coaches rack up wins against weaker competition. And then what happens when they get in those tough games is or matches, regardless of the sport, they're not prepared.
Well, DeLuca will give up the point to start the third period, so Sabo picks up an escape. 5-1 our score. So DeLuca feeling he's much better on his feet.
Well, we saw he wasn't able to score points on top. If he wants to get this to a major, he's going to have to do it here. But he's also going to have to look for those quick points off the takedown. Feet to back. Like with this front headlock, don't just look to get to 2. You got to look and try and get multiple points out of it. Try and get 4 or 5 points. And Sabo knows what he's doing. He's doing a great job of using the edge of the mat and tying up hands and making DeLuca work for every point.
So 5-1 our score. DeLuca with the lead. 1:25 to go here in the third period. Our first match tonight, Newton and High Point. Thanks for joining us. Dan Cleary along with Nick DeGennaro. Our first wrestling match of the 2018 season.
Feels like we just finished 2017.
Doesn't it?
And I don't mean this, I don't mean the year, I mean
I know
the season.
the sports season. DeLuca in deep, but no points. 58 seconds to go.
And if you think about it, for some of these Newton kids, they didn't finish their football season that long ago. It's not even a month yet for them,
Absolutely.
or it is exactly a month.
Kids like Wyatt McCarthy and Summers and DeLuca, Devin Major.
Coaches Eric Blatt and Teddy Sibley's. Yep.
Absolutely. 45 seconds to go, third period. DeLuca with the 5-1 lead.
He's trying to look for a big move right now. Sabo doing a really good job of being heavy on the head.
25 seconds to go. We got a stall and a point.
He's still going to need a takedown plus or 2 takedowns to make this a major.
6-1 our score. As Sabo banged for his second stall. And we'll come back to middle, 10 seconds to go.
Sabo's doing a great job. He can even take another stall as long as he doesn't give up a takedown. And defensively, he's been very sound.
7 seconds. DeLuca in deep. Nothing yet. Sabo holding on. And this will be a 6-1 decision for Joey DeLuca, as Newton will take a 3-0 lead over High Point as we move on to 195.
Well, great job by Grayson Sabo. That is an excellent job of stalling without stalling. You know, he did enough. He did just enough to not get called and to make scoring hard for DeLuca. But in some of these matches, Newton's going to have to not waste so much time on top. They're going to have to cut and take down.
Jonathan Morris versus Luke Fisher.
So we have Jonathan Morris for High Point, Luke Fisher for Newton. Fisher, a veteran on this team, and he picks up the quick takedown.
Now, to be honest with you, in these matches, unless you have a kid who is superior on top, you want to cut and take down, cut and take down. This is about breaking will. It's not just about scoring points. You need to break your opponent's will when you have the advantage.
2-1 our score. Morris comes in with just 2 matches under his belt, and Luke Fisher 9-2, a veteran for Eric Billette. This is where you obviously Newton looking to get bonus points.
But Fisher's got to go. He's got to go. He's got to go. And that's what he's got to do, because High Point is going to be so well conditioned that you've got to push the pace early and you've got to break that conditioning down.
Fisher with the 4-1 lead here in the 195-pound match.
I know he's good on top, but our rule has always been you do not throw legs on High Point.
You just look around this gym tonight, the talent in the stands, the great wrestlers.
Some just iconic wrestlers, coaches, fans.
Gene Conkey's here. Although he didn't wrestle here, he played hoops. And he always tells the story that Borch was the gym teacher, and he said, I was the best athlete in the school, and I got an F in gym. Because he played hoops. He didn't wrestle. 15 seconds to go, first period, 4-1 lead for Luke Fisher over Jonathan Morris. And the first period will come to an end with a 4-1 lead for Luke Fisher.
Well, he's really going to have to get this match on the feet. I know he's good on top, but you need to break the will a little bit before you're going to be successful there.
So Fisher up top, and he'll give up the point.
Should have just stood him up. That's 2 seconds wasted.
But he comes back with the takedown. He has a 6-2 lead.
He should just cut him right now. All right, we're back on the feet. Good. Good for Fisher.
Right.
It's so tough to stall on the feet, too. That's a big reason why you want to be up here.
Gives up another point, so it'll be 6-3.
Oh, nice shot.
Morrison deep. Fisher still no control yet. Fisher goes to the far ankle. (5-3) our score. All 3 points for Mr. Morris coming via the escape. There's another 2 for Fisher. He goes up 8-3.
He's got to let him go again. Morris can be smart, and he's not going to pop up here, because if he does, Fisher's going to send him on a pancake of his life.
54 seconds to go, second period. Fisher looking over to that terrific coaching staff, Eric Billette, Teddy Sibley's, Dave Young, and Andy Island. 40 seconds.
Morris just doing a tremendous job right here. Trying to mousetrap. The patented Johnny Garrick's move.
Gets the reversal, and it's 8-5. And another reversal there for Fisher. He picks up 2, 10-5.
But Fisher trying to sucker Morris into trying for a Peterson so he can mousetrap him over. Nobody did that better than Johnny Garrick's of Hackettstown/Phillipsburg.
So 10-5 our score after 2 periods. And you remember fans would yell stalling every time Johnny wrestled?
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't stalling. He was waiting for his time to make his move.
Yep.
He was a terrific wrestler. So third period, 10-5, Fisher with the lead. Morris on top. And a reversal pushes lead to 12-5.
He hasn't given up the one yet. And Morris, he's not just trying to stall, he's trying to score some points here,
He certainly is, Nick.
He'll trade 2 and 2 all day long.
7-point advantage right now. Obviously, you need 8 for the bonus point. 1:20 to go, third period. And we'll have a stalemate.
Morris has done a better job when he stayed on the offensive. When Fisher has pulled him into him, he shot off of that and gotten in deep. Now Fisher will stand him up. Which I thought we were on the mat there for a second. My first match back, I didn't know if I was right.
12-6 our score. Fisher takes the shot. Morris fights it off.
Morris reaching here. He could get himself in trouble going for that Peterson.
Absolutely.
He's already been mousetrapped once.
13-6.
Now you got that point you can play with. You can let him go again.
13-7, 40 seconds ago. Plenty of time here for Fisher. On the edge of the mat, he picks up another 2. Pushes his lead to 15-7.
Now his chances of getting a tech fall are not good, but I still might let him go again because he can hit a move from the feet. And also because if you get reversed here, you're going to lose the major.
15-7 our score. Right, exactly 8 points.
But again, I always make the right decision sitting behind the table over here.
Right.
Never wrong.
You're undefeated over here, Nick.
Exactly. Like parents in the stands.
That's right. 15 seconds.
Fisher's just going to be smart here.
Yes.
If something opens up, he'll take it, but he's not going to force anything and risk getting the reversal. And not a bad time for Morris to try something here. 7.9 seconds. We've seen that's plenty of time.
Absolutely.
The Hobie Wanamaker
I was just going to bring
special.
up Hobie Wanamaker. That was against Newton. But Fisher's going to come out, and he's going to post a major decision, 15-7, as the Braves will take a 7-0 lead after 2 matches as we move to 2:20. And we'll probably see either Andrew Lewis for High Point or Devin Major possibly for Newton. We'll see who comes out.
220 pounds for High Point, Andrew Lewis. And for Newton, Matt Summers.
And it'll be Andrew Lewis for High Point, Matt Summers for Newton. Lewis 8-5, and Matt Summers 2-3.
Well, we talk about the toss-up bouts. This is one. If Newton is going to win today, they need to get these toss-up bouts. High Point's done a good job of minimizing the bonus points. And the first 2 weight classes, they were underdogs. They gave up 1 bonus point.
I see the brothers Gascione are here. I saw Joey earlier, I believe, and there's Jason.
I can tell you one thing Eric Blett is happy about is they're not wearing High Point singlets.
You got that right. So Lewis and Summers, again, along with DeLuca, was part of that outstanding offensive line for Newton's football team. No one over 245 pounds, 260 pounds, but they did a great job against a real big team like Lakeland, and they really worked well as a unit. And Coach Matt Parzaro, the football team, working the clock tonight, and he's very proud to watch his kids do more than one sport. Matt's a proponent of being a multi-sport athlete.
You need to be. And listen, high school's really the last chance you ever get to do it in your life, so you only do it one time, and it makes you better in everything else you do. You're competing. You're not getting repetitive use injuries. I think every coach should encourage it. And as for that offensive line, what's the saying? It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. I don't care how big those kids were. They were some of the toughest football players I know I saw all year.
No doubt.
And it didn't matter if they were 240 pounds because they played a lot bigger than that.
They certainly did, because Lakeland was gigantic.
Oh, huge. Huge and physical as well.
Yes. And they beat Lakeland handily twice.
Yes.
So
and
first
really,
period.
Not for a freakish play, that fumble carry for a touchdown, Newton probably starts to put it on Lakeland in the state finals.
And the Newton defensive players threw him mad afterwards when I was talking about how they held him down. They said, you know, one of their touchdowns wasn't offensive. I think Johnny Van Ness told me about that, the defensive end. That was like one of the first things he said. So no score, second period, 220 pounds. Lewis in the red singlet, and Summers will pick up the first point. He'll get the escape. And thus far, the High Point kids, Nick, all wearing the same singlet. We'll see how long that lasts.
No,
you get a white one pop out?
We had to,
no?
Nope. Already different just between the last 2 weight classes.
See, my
Yeah, you
I'm
you
getting
blew
old,
that
Nick.
one.
Getting old.
No, Dan, you're just well seasoned.
I like that. I'll have to use that. I'm going to put that when I renew my license. Age, well seasoned.
Yeah, Morris had the old school just
Yes,
red
you're
singlet.
right. My powers of observation slipping in the old age. I'm waiting for the white singlet. There's always someone that pops out with the white one for High Point.
I will roll the dice and say Cobus will, because that's like a Cobus family tradition.
So Summers with the 1-0 lead, a minute to go here in the second period. Thanks for joining us here on the Muggs Media High School Wrestling Match of the Week. And picking up the 2 is Andrew Lewis. Trying to turn Summers. .34 seconds. Summers trying to fight his way out, and he does. So we're tied at 2.
I have a feeling this match is going to come down to who can have the stronger third period.
I agree.
Whose conditioning is going to be better.
And again, as you mentioned, Summers is one of those guys that played football up until a month ago.
And
just try to explain to everyone, what's the difference between wrestling shape and other shapes?
Oh, it's not even close.
Or fitness or conditioning.
I'd come off of football, and fortunately I played on everything, so I never really got a break. And we came into wrestling, and I still wasn't close to the conditioning I needed to be for that. And wrestling would take, now, I was a 185-pounder. Well, 189 my senior year. I think I lost 14 pounds in the first month of wrestling. And I wasn't even trying.
Right. Second period comes to an end. We're tied at 2 as we head to the third period.
Yeah, it's just
Summers up top.
It's a whole different level. And where you are week 1 to where you are now is tremendously different too.
So we're tied at 2. And what Nick said before looks like will probably be the difference, who has the stronger third period. Summers trying to get the takedown, and he's out of bounds, no points.
Well, Lewis is trying to get out here. And of course, you can't get any better advice than whatever Billy Smith just said to him. Because you talk about 2 programs that have great upper weight coaches. You can't do any better than Billy Smith and Andy Dialef. No disrespect to any other upper weight coaches in the county. Their records speak for themselves. You could tell me I don't think anybody else has state champs coaching their upper weights.
Lewis trying to get out. 1:20 to go, and he does. And with 1:18 to go, 3-2 lead for Lewis. And fixing his headset is Mr. Summers.
He actually got another headgear. It's one of those things that annoys you as a coach because you're probably like, the headgear pops off every day in practice. You didn't think it was going to here. And I don't know that it does, but that's usually how it works out.
So he's got a new equipment. Luke Fisher.
Sometimes with these upper weights, this takedown comes down to who doesn't make the mistake. Now the pressure is on Newton right here, so he's going to have to force the action a little bit more.
Lewis with the 3-2 lead over Summers, 1 minute to go.
Summers taking a peek at the clock.
As we're 3 matches into this 14-match bout. .37 seconds to go.
Not surprising, some of the Kittatinny wrestlers are filing in to see this match.
We had 2 great matches in West Jersey tonight. This one, and Lewis with the takedown. He'll go up 5-2, 20 seconds to go.
Dan, what was my quote? Who doesn't make the mistake? A bad headlock attempt. Sometimes you got to fight the urge to do something crazy in a one-point match.
Lewis with 3 seconds to go. He's going to pull out the 5-2 win. High Point will get on the scoreboard. They'll trail 7-3 as we head to 285. And like you said, Nick, toss-up bouts. That one went to the Wildcats. And this is what I was talking about, the different signal, Nick. This is obvious. Tommy Hubmaster.
Right.
For High Point, Thomas Hubmaster. For Newton, Devin Major.
And it'll be Tommy Hubmaster for High Point. Devin Major, just back in the wrestling room not too long ago, coming off half of the offensive line for Newton and the top heavyweights here, upper weights, I should say, for the Braves. Coming into this Hubmaster 10-4, Devin Major 1-1. Hubmaster did well at the brick tournament. He's been a nice addition to that. After they graduated Cliff Rudder, the question was, would Hubmaster step it up this year? And he has.
And that's huge because up top, there aren't a lot of strong teams up top. So, you know, if you're getting bonus points at 285, that's just a huge advantage coming in.
Was it 3 years ago? That's where Lenape Valley made their money.
Right, and a lot of it.
Yes, indeed. They won the section title that year, beating Caldwell after Caldwell upset Hanover Park. And Major with the takedown. Hubmaster trying to get out. And we'll get a point here for Hubmaster. 2-1, Major with the lead. 50 seconds to go.
Of course, Major giving up some weight here. Major weighed in at 192.8.
And again, was battling an injury from football and didn't really get in the room until recently.
Giving up 50 pounds, the Hubmaster weighed in at 248.
Oh, you can just make believe he's going against the Burke kid from Lakeland who was 6'7", 350.
Oh my God, every bit of it.
Major played guard, and if anyone knows anything about the Delaware wing tee, your guards have to be outstanding, and he was.
They need to be athletic, they need to be tough, and they need to be strong.
Well, one period in the books, Tommy Hubmaster with the 2-1 lead. Excuse me, Devin Major with the 2-1 lead over Tommy Hubmaster.
Now the question is going to be, again, conditioning. Major, you said, he hasn't been in the room that long. He's pushing an extra 50 pounds here. And the key is being the lighter, more agile wrestler. When you lose your conditioning, you lose your advantage, which was your quickness and your agility. A great return to the mat.
Good job by Major, no points awarded.
Major letting Hubmaster go here.
2-2 our score. 30 seconds into the second period. As I was saying before, that's a different singlet.
Very much so. Sometimes for heavyweights, you don't have as many choices as the middleweights do. Coach, what do you have in my size?
What makes me look thinner?
For some of us, I'm not talking about the kids on the mat. It's not it's not the clothing.
Major and Hubmaster fights it off. No points yet. High Point looking for points, and they get it.
Great job by Hubmaster. Good footwork, fighting off that.
He goes up 4-2.
Major just hurt himself by going against his own head. If he had dumped in the other direction, he would have had an easy 2. But again, that's one of those things when you haven't had a lot of wrestling up to this point, mistakes you make early in the year.
And those returns to the mat, that's like doing 6 deadlifts in a row.
Yeah.
That takes it out of you. And Major, as strong as he is, as you said, pushing 50 pounds around extra.
And all Hubmaster really needs to do here is keep forcing forward. Make Major feel that extra 50 pounds.
Major, 7 seconds to go. Hubmaster. That's good mat awareness by Hubmaster.
Yep. Oh, there might not be a better program in the state when it comes to mat awareness than High Point. I mean, from a long time ago, this has been forever. From Jeff Hull, Jan Michaels to Johnny Gardner, they have had some of the best mat sense in the state.
With 2 periods in the books, Tommy Hubmaster with a 4-2 lead over Devin Major. We'll head into the 3rd period.
And Major will take bottom here. The key for him is going to be the move on the whistle. He's got to explode out on the whistle before Hubmaster can really get his weight on him. If Hubmaster can stop the first move, he's going to be in really good shape.
Major tries to scoot out. Hubmaster keeps him down, puts the pressure on.
This is just smart wrestling by Tom Hubmaster.
As he's listening to, as you said, Billy Smith.
There'd be one voice I'd be locked in this gym if I'm a heavyweight for High Point, and it's Billy Smith. And whatever he says, you do it.
Nick, I'm announcing the match and I'm listening to Billy Smith.
And that's no disrespect to the other coaches who are tremendous.
Oh, Hubmaster! And he whistles blown. We'll head back to the middle. Wow.
Major went forward last time, and Hubmaster stayed with him. I think he's got to go up on the whistle. He's got to get that weight off him. He's got to explode upward. Hubmaster's just got to get that head on the mat. Every time Major's head's on the mat, Hubmaster's winning.
And Hubmaster's wrestling like a kid that's been in the wrestling room for 4 years.
Yep. And with something to prove. You know, he wasn't able to wrestle in districts last year. You know, he wants to prove that this is his spot and he deserves it. And he's doing a great job right here.
He certainly is. We approach a minute to go here in the 3rd period. Hubmaster just keeping Major to the mat.
Major's going to have to dig into the reserves here. He's got to hit some moves. But he hasn't been in the room that long.
We haven't had a stall warning, right? No stalls.
Fatigue makes cowards of us all.
Vince Lombardi.
And Hubmaster's just doing a textbook job of making Major feel every pound of that 248.
25 seconds to go.
A month from now, with some more conditioning, this could be a different result.
I agree, 100%, Nick.
But
and
right
they could
now,
see each other in states.
Yes.
Team states.
Correct, in sectionals.
10 seconds to go. And looks like Tommy Hubmaster's going to come out with the victory, 4-2.
What a great job.
Nice win for Tommy Hubmaster. 4-2, and the score is now Newton 7, High Point 6. And we'll go to 106, and we talked about this at the top of the match. This could be a forfeit here for
Newton. This will be a forfeit because High Point didn't weigh anybody in at 106, so it has to be a forfeit.
They'll send out Nathan Fitt for Newton.
At 106 for Newton, Nathan Fitt.
And if you're High Point, you have to feel really good about what you got coming now because now you're getting into the meat of their lineup.
It looks like this is a forfeit. Okay. Yep. The referee now getting in. I thought for a second they pulled a fast one on the win sheets.
Well,
but they're going to go to 113.
Have another 106-pounder. Newton does. They could have bumped Fitt, but...
Brandon LaRue will come out for High Point at 113.
Danny Cleary.
And no relation, but my favorite wrestler, Danny Cleary.
But I wouldn't be bumping my 106-pounder to wrestle Brandon LaRue unless he was one of the best 106-pounders in the state.
And Nick and I were discussing when's the last time I was 106 pounds.
Well, no. 113-pound Danny Cleary. When was the last time when you weighed what he did?
takedown for LaRue. Well, would you give me a 2-pound allowance?
Yes. You get the growth allowance early.
Thank you very much, my friend. LaRue with the quick takedown against Cleary. Just a freshman, he's 4-6. Brandon LaRue, the hammer, 14-1. I would like the 200-pound weight allowance there, Nick.
You got it.
Thank you.
I mean, with your seasoning, we'll allow it.
Yes. So we've determined tonight I'm fat and old.
That's not what I said.
LaRue in complete control. 1 minute in, he has the 2-0 lead over the aforementioned Danny Cleary.
Now, Cleary's kind of in that mode where I can't give up bonus points. I got to give my team a chance. And that's easier said than done.
He's one of those freshmen in this lineup, like Nathan Fitt, who's 4-7. He got the forfeit. Cleary's a freshman. And Latruglio for Newton is a freshman as well. So a lot of young talent in this Newton lineup.
Wrestling is the one boys sport, wrestling and track, I should say, and I guess swimming as well, where you see a higher percentage of freshmen competing on the male side, which is not nearly as common as it is on the female side, and that's just physical maturity. Boys mature physically later than girls do, and that's why a lot of times girls can come in as freshmen and be tremendous contributors on the varsity level.
Unless your last name's Mafaro. Those guys come in as freshmen.
Right. I was talking about the normal human beings, not the freak athletes.
And picking up 2 points right before the end of the first period is LaRue, and he'll have a 4-0 lead over Cleary as we head to the second period. I want to thank Newton Hospital, Sussex County Community College, Orthopedic Institute, New Jersey, Tim's Auto and Truck Repair, Loomis Avenue in Sussex, Tony's Pizza and Pasta, Route 94 in Hardison. They deliver. Give them a call at 209-7755. Excuse me, 209-7755. Right down the street, our friend Jesse Rowe, Home Furniture Warehouse, 75 Mill Street. Garden of Life Yoga Massage Center, Boulder Hills Mall in Wantage. Newton Pride Foundation, as they sponsor all Newton matches for the benefit of all the students of the Newton School District. Go to NewtonPrideNJ.com. And Oars Clothes for Country Living, located in downtown Branchville. Go see the Oars. They're great people, longtime sponsors of wrestling here on Muggs Media. Oars Clothes for Country Living in Branchville. LaRue will pick up another 2.
What a tremendous sequence by Cleary, though. He almost put LaRue on his back, where I would say 95% of the wrestlers in this weight class in the state, LaRue would have reversed right away. That's just a tremendous job by Cleary to stay on as long as he did and almost get back points.
As we're under 50 seconds to go in the second period, Brandon LaRue with the 6-0 lead over Cleary.
I believe he called an injury time.
And he's going to head over. While they check out Cleary, we're going to take our first break of the night. We'll be right back.
I'm Dr. Stephen Koss of the Orthopedic Institute of New Jersey. At the Orthopedic Institute of New Jersey, our goal is to return our patients to an active and healthy lifestyle. We have 17 outstanding physicians and 14 convenient locations located throughout northern New Jersey and eastern Pennsylvania. It's our belief that patients should not have to travel far to receive world-class orthopedic care from a knowledgeable and caring staff. Our physicians have expertise in all areas of the body. We believe in exploring all non-surgical options before surgery is recommended. Our physicians work closely with our physical therapy staff to ensure proper recovery. The same level of care that we provide to our professional athletes is available to all our patients. Call us or visit our website, the Orthopedic Institute of New Jersey, orthopedicnj.com.
Commitment to student success is what sets Sussex County Community College apart. Turn your passion into a career and learn from professors who are in the field and rich with experience. Imagine an education with endless possibilities and a campus full of life. Choose a degree or certificate that speaks to your inner self but doesn't have a lasting impact on your finances. Visit our open house on October 14th so that you can get started on a great education. Sussex County Community College. Start here, go anywhere.
Hi, I'm Raul Gonzalez. I would like to welcome you to Sol Azteca Mexican Grill. I was born and raised in Mexico City. I was transferred to the United States in 1999 because of war reasons. Always I've been here in New Jersey. I used to work for a German company, which was the one that brought me here. And I've been working for a multinational companies during those years. After that, I made a decision that I would like to follow and go after my dream, that was to have my own restaurant, my own enterprise, and there we are. This restaurant represents my cultural, but also represents my home, because I'm an American citizen and I've been in this country for 18 years. With Sol Azteca, I would like to honor my Mexican cultural roots as well as my current home, which is the United States. Let our family from Sol Azteca host your family, your friends and relatives. Visit us at 280 Spring Street in Newton, New Jersey, and visit us at our website www.solazteca.com, on our social media. Hope to see you soon. Hasta la vista, amigos.
We really encourage our beginners to come to Garden of Life because we don't want anyone to be afraid, and we take, in our fundamental classes, we break down the poses to the basics. We move very slowly and we create a practice that's good for all bodies. There's this misconception that you have to be supple and limber and strong. No, you just have to have a really positive attitude, because there are yoga poses for everybody. There's yoga for healing. We also do therapeutic massages and yoga privates. So for those that are really needing to break down the poses, we do privates, very simple. We have fundamental classes where we just take each pose step by step by step. So everybody gets into the practice at their own level safely, with a big smile on their face when they leave here.
And we're back here at Newton High School after the injury timeout. Everyone's good. 40 seconds to go here in the second period. Brandon LaRue with the 6-0 lead over Danny Cleary as we're in the 1:13 bout. And Newton has a 13-6 lead in the team score. Picking up some back points is LaRue.
You can tell the length of his arms, the fact that he could pull off that hip tilt and have that much space between himself and Cleary.
7-0 our score after the back points.
There are some wrestlers, when they are on top, they just have this ability that you, unless you wrestle with them, you don't understand. And you're like, how does he keep him down?
And 2 more points before the buzzer sounds. And we have a 10-0 lead for Brandon LaRue, so he's on his way.
And Cleary's going to take top. That's an interesting selection.
Actually, 11-0 lead, folks. Third period. Score 11-0.
Well, you definitely you were not going to put Cleary back on the bottom again. He just gave up 4 points in the last 15 seconds. He's going to have to let him go. Good choice. The most misinterpreted rule by the crowd ever in the sport of wrestling. You get 5 seconds per attempt. You don't have to actually take the wrestler to the mat. You just have to make an attempt, and then the clock starts again. Oh.
Cleary on the edge of the mat.
He was out of bounds. That was a good call. His right foot was out of bounds, but I'm telling you, this kid is showing us something.
It's got to be the name.
That's it. Even though he's not wearing blue and yellow. Kind of tried a little craziness there.
Hey, you're down 14-0. What the heck? You don't
But
want to
you're
get
trying
pinned,
to keep
though.
it to get it to
That's
15.
true.
So every second you can kill on the feet.
We got a stall warning. Sitting at 14-0.
Haven't really figured out the rhyme or reason to the stall calls. Not that there have been many, but they weren't on the mat that long, and it wasn't like LaRue was out front.
Well, LaRue on his way to getting a technical fall, and he's going to get it.
Now what he's got to try to do, LaRue, is don't just let him back over. You got to try and go for the pin. If he gets off, the match ends.
And the
A nice
match
shot
is
by
over.
Cleary.
Picks up the 3 points. And it'll be a 15-0 tech fall, I believe, unless he gave an extra 17. So LaRue will pick up 5 points. He makes his 13 to 11. Newton. And tech fall 17-0. As we move to 120 pounds.
At 120 pounds for High Point, Devin Flannery.
Denver Flannery for High Point. And freshman Jojo Latruglio for Newton. Flannery, another one of the hammers for Newton, 13-2. And he picks up the quick takedown. Latruglio, 6-5 as a freshman. So Flannery off to the quick 4-0 lead. Return to the mat.
I was really interested to see Flannery this year at 120 pounds, and wow. He's as slick as anybody, but he adds power to his game. Maybe this is just one of those weight classes where High Point's going to be chalking up bonus points all year.
And this is the part of the lineup where High Point's going to make its move, if it's going to.
Well, they won the matches up top that they needed to win. And, you know, those last 2 matches at 220 and 285, and then the forfeit. But the thing with the forfeit is it doesn't give Newton any momentum. It gives them 6 points, but no momentum. High Point gets on a roll. They get on a roll better than any team I've ever seen through the history of their program.
Flannery jumped out to the lightning quick 4-0 lead. Latruglio kind of straightened the ship a little bit, hanging on now with 35 seconds to go.
Well, that's the key. He's able to hang on. Flannery's got to take this to the feet like we were talking about earlier with Newton, with Fisher. They got to go to the feet, break his will. Mental part of wrestling is probably more than it is in almost any sport.
Flannery, 9 seconds to go. In control, he's got Latruglio on the bottom. And the first period will come in then with Devin Flannery with a 4-0 lead. Second period about to start. And LaRue with the tech fall, 17-0 and 5:27. So if you're keeping score at home, and I hope you are, Flannery picks up the 2, 6-0.
The only time that the Merkle is a safe move is when your leg is in the right position. There, it just brings you out front, and this is a smart job by Flannery.
Well, these kids we just saw, LaRue, Flannery, Billy Tamich, soon Kobus, these are guys that are looking to get to Atlantic City.
Oh,
and get placed pretty high.
I'd be surprised if they weren't. You know, hopefully everybody stays healthy, but they should certainly be there, and I believe they're all medal threats.
We just hope Shane Kobus doesn't have that bad streak that his older brother did. Oh. That kid was one of the best technical wrestlers I've ever seen. Just he couldn't stay on the mat for long periods.
Yep. And you saw, like last year, what happened with Pope John with some injuries down there as well.
Absolutely. 8-1 our score. Flannery in control. What are your thoughts about the HWS? Pope John going to defend that title, or Peeber get him?
You know, it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be, you know, who's where. Sometimes guys make moves for that tournament. And it really boils down to who the guys that can get you points and may not even place, or they get that third place instead of that fourth place. You look at the champions, but it's 4-point difference whether you're first or second or third or fourth. So a third place finish helps your team as much as that first place versus second place does.
And you saw that firsthand with Kittatinny last year at the districts when they stunned everyone by beating Pope John.
Well, not everyone did.
That's true. That is true. Flannery. No,
tremendous job. I'll be surprised when Kittatinny doesn't wrestle their best in the month of February, because that's the John Gill trademark.
No doubt.
You wrestle them, you put them on your schedule as an independent, get them in December and January. Not that there's a lot of time in February anymore, but with that week we lost a couple of years ago, but they wrestle their best at the end of the year every single year. Flannery really rolling.
Up to 12-2 now.
A little sloppy by Flannery.
12-3 our score.
And Latrulgill, I tell you, he's showing some conditioning here. He's going hard.
Just a freshman going against one of the best juniors in the state of New Jersey.
And a freshman that's pretty well put together for a 120-pounder. You can tell he's put his time in the weight room.
High Point holds on to this win here. They will take the lead for the first time tonight in the team score.
Petrulia's going to be smart and not get cradled up here. He's going to give up the 2. He needs to bail out and just give up the 2. There he goes.
14-3 our score.
Flannery's got to push the pace here if he wants that tech fall. He's got a Turk.
40 seconds. Going to pick up the back points.
He's going to need another turn, though, for the tech.
They tell him to let him go.
He's got to get that Turk out, though. He's not going to get any points until he takes the leg out. There he goes.
So 17-3 our score.
He just needs a cheap 2-pointer here.
He's got 16 seconds to do it. There's a stall. 10 seconds. Can he get him to the back? Getting close. No flags yet. 3 seconds.
Needs to lift that bottom leg.
And Latrulio, in a losing effort, saves a team point.
Latrulio did a great job.
17-3 our score there, the major decision. But High Point will pick up the 4 team points and take the lead 15-13, but not giving up the tech or the pin. Huge for the freshman. Maverick Liebel will come out for High Point 126. Matt Rosa for Newton. Liebel, the sophomore, 13-2. Rosa, the junior, a battle-tested 8-5.
Rosa moving up a bit from last year too, but I thought he was pretty impressive last year.
I did too.
I thought he was a little undersized. Now he's, filled out more. Interested to see what he can do.
Liebel, the older of the Liebel brothers. Maverick is senior. High Point's won 4 of the last 5 bouts. The only setback was the forfeit of 106. And we'll come back to the middle of the mat, 56 seconds to go, first period.
You know, this is a point where if Rosa can step up for Newton here, he can stop this High Point momentum, and that would be huge for his team. They need some upsets now, Newton. If they're going to win this match, they now need upsets. They've only got one toss-up out, maybe at 170 left on the table. So they're going to need bonus points and probably at least 2 upsets.
Nothing yet. Again, I want to thank Orr's Clothes for Country Living, located in downtown Branchville, longtime sponsor of wrestling here on Muggs Media, and the Home Furniture Warehouse, our friend Jesse Rowe, huge supporter of high school wrestling, 75 Mill Street in Newton, and the Newton Pride Foundation for the benefit of the students of the Newton School District. Go to newtonnjpride.org. Dave Petrie does a great job with that organization. Well, the first period will come to an end with no score here in the 126 bout. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dan Cleary along with Nick DeGennaro, our first match of 2018. It should be a good one, and thus far through 7 matches, it has been. We'll have the caution.
False start by Liebel. You get 2 freebies. Then it becomes a point from your third one-on-on.
And we'll come back. We talked about Pope John before. How about Garcia with the win over Fenner, defending state champ? I think Robbie's primed to do some big things. I think he got overshadowed a little bit, and probably rightly so, by Jojo Aragona. But Robbie Garcia is right there.
If you know wrestling, you know Robbie Garcia, and you know where he is. But, you know, you're right. He doesn't get the attention that some of the other guys in that lineup do, and he really is just amazing. He has been from the first match he's wrestled there.
So Liebel will get the point. He'll take the 1-0 lead with a minute 30 to go here in the second period. I mean, up and down that Pope John lineup, you know, kids like Rispoldi and Rotunda and Ventresca, the Matty Garcia, I mean, they're just loaded. The only kind of question mark is up top. We haven't seen Jake Brown yet.
Well, I'll be interested to see if we'll see him this weekend in the HWS.
On the edge of the mat, we'll come back, no points. 1 minute to go.
And of course, if you're Pope John, and if you can, you'd love to get him a match before that. But, you know, all the information's on double secret probation, so
absolutely.
we don't know.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Talk about a match before the HWS. Kittatinny's got Peaburg?
Yes, tomorrow night.
Goes back to what you said. John Gill will wrestle anywhere, and just like Johnny Gardner.
They will be home at Kittatinny, and that's a huge difference. I just think Peaburg's got a little too much for them right now, but that'll be a great, if you get through it healthy, which John never worries about because John was never hurt.
Right.
And none of his kids are ever hurt if you ask John. But it's going to prep you for what you're going to see on Saturday.
No doubt. Could have some rematches on Saturday. And one of the losses this year for Newton was a tough loss to Peaburg.
Right.
They hung around with the state liners.
But it is funny because you could see someone at a weight on Thursday and on a different weight on Saturday, because that seems to be a lot of times when guys make that move. What a shot by Liebel.
Liebel picks up the 2.
You talk about a blast double. There it was.
Right before the buzzer. And how many matches have we seen tonight, High Point pick up points right before the buzzer?
And Rosa's down right now, so that's not good.
They're going to check on Rosa. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Dr. Robert DeFalco. I'm an orthopedic surgeon from the Orthopedic Institute of New Jersey. The Orthopedic Institute of New Jersey is a complete musculoskeletal practice. We have board-certified physicians who specialize in the operative and non-operative treatment of any musculoskeletal problem.
We try to evaluate, educate, and treat the patient. Here we utilize a multidisciplinary approach, taking full advantage of the wonderful orthopedic, pain management, spinal care, and physical therapy professionals at the practice.
We have a very large practice with a number of different doctors with many different subspecialties, and it's an incredible asset.
The expertise of our physicians and the professionalism of our staff is what I believe sets our practice apart. This allows us to provide timely, personalized, high-quality care to our patients.
I take particular pride in knowing that the patient is well cared for and that their experience at the Orthopedic Institute of New Jersey has either met or exceeded their expectations. It's very rewarding seeing patients get back to their active lifestyle.
The team here at the Orthopedic Institute is outstanding. Without this team, I would have never made this team. And I mean that with every fiber of my being.
At the Orthopedic Institute of New Jersey, we believe you don't need to travel to receive world-class care. We have 4 major locations, including Hackettstown, Roxbury, Newton, and Sparta, and multiple satellite locations serving northern New Jersey and eastern Pennsylvania.
Tony's Pizza and Pasta in Hardiston, a family-owned and operated business. Stop in for a slice or a full meal. Catering is available and delivery is always free. Tony's Pizza and Pasta, Hardiston Mercantile Mall, Route 94 in Hardiston.
Commitment to student success is what sets Sussex County Community College apart. Turn your passion into a career and learn from professors who are in the field and rich with experience. Imagine an education with endless possibilities and a campus full of life. Choose a degree or certificate that speaks to your inner self but doesn't have a lasting impact on your finances. Visit our open house on October 14th so that you can get started on a great education. Sussex County Community College. Start here, go anywhere.
When it comes to caring for the unexpected, take comfort in knowing that our emergency department is prepared and equipped to take care of all patients' needs, from minor injuries to more advanced life-threatening illnesses like heart attacks and strokes. No other provider can match the experience, commitment to quality, and access to state-of-the-art technology available at Newton Medical Center. And as part of Atlantic Health System, we're also the only facility seamlessly connected to all the resources and medical experts at Morristown Medical Center and our sister hospitals for the breadth of high-quality and nationally ranked services offered throughout our network.
Encourage our beginners to come to Garden of Life because we don't want anyone to be afraid, and we take, in our fundamental classes, we break down the poses to the basics. We move very slowly and we create a practice that's good for all bodies. There's this misconception that you have to be supple and limber and strong. No, you just have to have a really positive attitude, because there are yoga poses for everybody. There's yoga for healing. We also do therapeutic massages and yoga privates. So for those that are really needing to break down the poses, we do privates, very simple. We have fundamental classes where we just take each pose step by step by step. So everybody gets into the practice at their own level safely, with a big smile on their face when they leave here.
With winter weather approaching, now is a good time to get your wiper blades inspected and replaced to keep your windshield clear and make it much easier to see from the snow glare. Give us a call at Tim's Auto, 973-875-6181.
And we're back after the injury timeout to Rosa.
Rosa gets the caution this time.
To start the third period. 3-0, Maverick Liebel getting the points right before the end of the second period.
With a very physical blast double. Very popular move in the UFC now, with all the wrestlers that are transitioning to that sport.
The Miller brothers right out of Sparta, doing a great job in that.
Plus, we're seeing a lot of college wrestlers go the MMA route now.
Nick and I were joking during the break that Matt Parzaro wins a state title, and less than a month later, he's keeping blood time.
No stress, though. No stress whatsoever for Matt.
Rosa picks up the one. He trails 3-1 with 1:20 to go in the third period.
We got to remember, he was the head wrestling coach at North Warren for a while
That's right.
as well.
And a pretty decent wrestler himself at Lenape Valley, wrestling for Bob Poggi.
He was. I will say, though, when at Kittatinny, when we won our first group title, that was a big turnaround match for us, getting a win over a very tough Matt Parzero.
Sure Matt will enjoy hearing that story if he watches the match.
They beat us. Lenape beat Kittatinny during the regular season. We knocked them off in the sectional finals. It was all about the matchups, and the matchups changed.
Rosa doesn't seem any worse for wear.
He doesn't, but he's not really able to get to go on the offensive here. And that's the thing with Liebel. He's so physical that when he gets an advantage, he almost seems to amp up that physicality. It makes it even tougher for you to score. You can't try to go horsepower for horsepower with him. You got to try and out-slick him. Let him force his weight and try and take advantage, but it also means you need to set something up.
30 seconds to go, third period, 3-1 lead. 3-1 lead for Maverick Liebel over Rosa.
Oh, Rosa looked good on the edge, but Liebel knew where he was as well.
Matt Rosa trailing by 2. He's got 16 seconds to get something done here, or Maverick Liebel's going to pick up the victory.
And Rosa's trying hard here.
6 seconds.
He's going to get a fresh start, but 3.3 seconds. He's going to have to hit a move right on the whistle. And that was a good caution. And I'll also tell you, that's great clock work by not starting the clock on that.
It's when you have a coach working the clock, they know it. And the buzzer will sound, and Maverick Liebel will post the 3-1 win at 126 pounds, as High Point will go up by 5, 18-13. As we move to 132 pounds, probably going to see Billy Tamwich for a High Point, and probably Michael Frieda.
132 pounds for High Point, Billy Talmadge. Frieda, Michael Frieda.
And it is Michael Frieda.
Well, you had that one wired.
Talmadge coming off a great freshman year, sophomore this year, 14-3. Michael Frieda, like I said about Rosa, a battle-tested 7-5. No bad matches in those 12 for that young man.
Well, he's not getting an easy one here either.
No, he is not.
And you can see Talmadge with the real old school singlet. That might even be like the original High Point singlet.
That might be. Scott Longcore might have worn that. Now the president of the Sussex County Sports Hall of Fame, and has made his return to coaching on the youth level. I saw him the other day. He said, they dragged my old butt back in here.
It's a thankless job sometimes.
Nick, you know a lot of guys in the sport. He's one of those guys, when you shake his hand, it gets lost, and then he breaks it in half, and he doesn't mean it.
Right.
Old Scotty Longcore, Sussex County Sports Hall of Famer, great wrestler, wrestled at Penn State. That was a great football player at High Point. In fact, when we had our dinner in November, he introduced Ira Lubert, who just went in. Ira, 1969 or 68, heavyweight state champ from Newton. I believe he wrestled for Gary Wykander. But Ira flew in. Ira's a huge supporter of Penn State. He's on their board of trustees. Freddie Lorenzo is the head coach of Penn State, went to Newton. A lot of Newton, Penn State connections in Sussex County. Richie Lorenzo, excuse me. Well, Talmadge in deep. And he'll pick up the points.
Don't want to leave out the Kittatinny alumni, Wally Voigt, who was a varsity wrestler at Penn State. My freshman year of high school, he kicked my butt almost every day in the wrestling room, and I deserved every bit of it.
Made you the man who you are today, Nick.
Yeah. I don't know if I should blame him for that.
Talmadge with a 2-0 lead, 10 seconds to go. sophomore will take the 2-0 lead. And you talk about tradition. Obviously, Newton's been wrestling since the 20s. And everyone knows Coach Borch and everything, and the 81 state champs. But in 50 years, High Point's put together quite a resume. And I don't know the exact numbers, but I imagine a lot of those guys from the Newton teams from the 40s and 50s would have went to High Point.
Right.
Not all of them, but some of them.
And some would have went to Kittatinny.
That's right.
But that's, you know, we had a lot less people in Sussex County at that time as well.
Yeah, there was only 4 high schools. Newton, Sussex, Franklin, and Hamburg. And Hamburg didn't have a football or a wrestling team.
Talmadge
picks
just
up
so
another
physical. Just so physical.
But old Hamburg High was pretty good in baseball and basketball. We could ask Gene Conkey. He played against those guys right across from us. Gene looking great, the Hall of Famer, Newton legend.
Now, when did they consolidate? Because doesn't Hamburg go to Franklin before Waukeil Valley's built?
Yes, they did. But Hamburg, I want to say, started going to Franklin in the 60s. I know Gary Sparta, the former athletic director at Vernon and Sussex County Sports Hall of Famer, he graduated from Hamburg in the late 60s.
Well, you're just a name dropper, aren't you?
Well, that and $1.50 will get me a slice of pizza in the hallway.
Sussex County's resident sports historian, Dan Cleary.
5-0 lead for Talmadge.
And if you don't remember your career and you're a Sussex County athlete, Dan could probably tell you about it.
And for $5, I'll turn you into a section or state champ.
For $50, I'll make it a blog.
That's right. Now you're speaking my language. 1:05 to go here in the second period.
Freeze got to get something here. He needs a point. I'm a little surprised Talmadge is staying on top. If you're going for the bonus points, Talmadge has been dominant on the feet.
Just the sophomore. He's just going to get better and better, folks.
Now, sophomore or a redshirt sophomore?
I think he's a sophomore.
People ask, what's redshirt? That's college. No, that's starting to become the trend in New Jersey high school sports. And the NJSIA is actually talking about starting a clock earlier, basically saying when you're in 6th grade, that's when we're going to start your clock, saying that you've got, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, then your high school eligibility starts, whether you're in high school or not.
Well, they call it gray shirting in the high school level.
Right. It's gray shirting because you don't actually go to the school, which red shirting you would go and sit. Gray shirting is usually a football term. It's when you don't enroll until the springtime when you're a football player, so that year doesn't count for your eligibility.
We'll have a stall warning. 17 seconds to go.
Now, I'm not sure I don't know if it's an issue that really needs to be dealt with, to be honest with you. You're more well-versed with topics like that than I am. I think they've got to deal with the transfer issue more than anything right now. And they got to find a way around.
Talmadge finding his way here. And no points before the buzzer, though.
Nope. He stopped. He really needs to get around a little bit more.
But just real quick on that subject, Senator Richard Cody out of Essex County State Senator, he's been trying to push a bill through going illegal, making it illegal to gray shirt. So we'll have a point here.
I think the transfer issue is a much bigger issue. And really the current administration, governor administration, has not helped the NJSA with that. They had passed something that was going to deal with it, and it got shot down. Then they did another transfer rule, and the Commissioner of Education overturned it again.
Right. 7-3 our score. Talmadge with the lead.
I don't know that we want to see this turn into Florida, which is like the Wild West of transferring for high school sports.
Well, I've never been a fan of politics and high school sports combining.
No.
I would hope the NJSSAA, which is their charter to do, is to oversee high school sports and hopefully the high school athletic people can come up with a solution, because we know how great Trenton can be.
Well, I think they have come up with some ideas, but then to get it overturned,
right,
it doesn't help the situation. And now you have legislation letting schools combine,
right,
and that's a whole nother issue too, again, where politics should stay out of athletics.
I agree. 9-3 our score. Talmadge with the 6-point advantage, 40 seconds to go.
But I will say politics has saved us all money when we've gone to state events, putting that cap on what schools could charge.
So Freda doing a good job staying away from bonus points.
He is, and I still don't understand why Talmadge is on the mat. He's got to be on the feet.
There's stolen a point for Talmadge. So 10-3 our score. 13 seconds to go.
Talmadge got to watch that forearm. He's going to risk losing a point if he throws it that way again.
And is he going to get the back points?
Yes, he did. He got 2.
He did. He picked up 2 right before the buzzer. And Billy Talmadge is going to get the major decision. 12-3. And High Point will extend its lead now to 22-13 through 9 bouts.
And you cannot underestimate how much that hurts when you give up a major that late in a match. Or, let's take it from the positive side. When your wrestler earns that major.
Shane Kobus comes out for High Point at 138.
And he's wearing what color singlet?
The white singlet.
It's a Kobus family tradition.
And Julian Sibley's will come out for Newton. Sibley's, the sophomore, 2-6. Shane Kobus, the senior, he's a perfect 15-0. And I don't think they've done the seeding yet for the HWS, but probably a top seed in the offense if he wins tonight, wouldn't you think? Depending who's there from everywhere else.
Right.
I have to be honest, I haven't looked at Peaburg and Hunter and Central yet. They're wrestling tonight.
We want to talk about a couple of nights for Peaburg.
Yeah, right? You got Hunter and Central, and then you got to go across the double bridges.
Yeah. Hunter and Central is going to be a stiff test for them.
Well, they should be. They got 25,000 kids in that school.
And it depends where it is. I'm not sure if it's at Hunter Central or Phillipsburg. I don't care that it's a new school. You can call it the pit, you can call it whatever you want. It's still worth 10 points.
Oh, no doubt. And that new gym, have you been there, Nick?
I've only seen it online.
Nick, it's gorgeous.
I've seen the outside of the school when we went to the wrong school for a JV football game. And when I say wrong school, it's because they still play football at the old school.
Right. Maloney Field.
And let me tell you, nobody puts on a JV game like Phillipsburg. We actually had officials on the chain crew for a JV game.
They don't mess around down in
No,
Peaburg.
they do not mess around.
But that's a beautiful facility. I was down there for the HWS basketball finals last year. Wow. The scoreboard dropping from the ceiling.
For as long as it took to get that thing built, it better be. Because that project was in the works, not that the building phase, but that they were getting a new high school for a good 20 years.
Yes, because I think there was only one pyramid in Egypt when they started that.
You had to wait for the engineers to finish up and come over and take care of this school.
I think Pharaoh Ramses was the superintendent of schools in Phillipsburg then. Talmadge with the 2-0 lead, 10 seconds to go here in the first period against Sibley's. Again, weight class for a High Point looking for bonus points. So Kobus has the 5-0 lead.
All right, if there's one thing they need to address in high school sports, here's my little pet thing. Every school must have a full scoreboard on both sides of the gym. This looking back behind you to see what the match score is, I've hated it. I hated it when I wrestled. I hate it now. If you're the visiting team at Newton, the scoreboard you see does not have the individual match score. It only has the clock and the team score and the period.
gives Sibley's the point, so it's 6-1.
And as a coach and a wrestler, that's really annoying.
8-1, or 8-0, I should say. Well, at your alma mater, when we do the district finals, I walk out of there with a neck ache, turning around to see the score.
Well, that's only because the back
basketball
stops in
thing,
the way.
exactly.
The backboard.
Cobus with the 11-0 lead with the back points.
They got the full scoreboard on both sides. It's the basketball. See, basketball ruins everything.
Well, I have my wrestling headset on tonight, so I will not bash. I can't bash basketball. More back points for Talmadge, and it's 14-0. He's looking for a pin here, and he might get it.
Very risky there. And the single hardest pin call for any official, the near side cradle. There's no good position to see this pin. You actually need to get farther away, which he did.
So the pin for Cobus. High Point starting to pull away like we thought they would in this part of the lineup with the 28-13 lead. And Nick, I was looking down. What'd you get for the time of the pin?
3:22.
2:22, thank you, sir. So Cobus, 2:22. So Trevin Argobar for Newton, 1-4, the sophomore, against R.J. Brevoort, at 1:45 for High Point.
You talk about unsung guys. R.J. Brevoort's been one of those guys for High Point. Really doesn't get the attention, being squeezed in between Osborne and Cobus, but he's really done a nice job for them last year and this year.
As we are in bout number 11 of 14 here tonight, and High Point with the 28-13 lead. Walkenbauer trying to get in, but now Bravo picks up the points. We have, including this one, 4 more matches to go. High Point
and
here.
Newton's in really do-or-die position. If they don't win this match, the best they can do is a tie. If they give up any bonus points, it's over. And right now, and that's pinning out. And I'd have to look at the results here. That may not even be enough for them. They may lose the tiebreakers. So it's really essentially a must-win for Newton, because you still got Trey Osborne coming out for High Point. You can't figure you're going to get a pin there.
And a healthy Robbie Toro against Jonathan Borgononi. That's a good match.
Yeah.
That's no definite win for Newton. Toro missed last year due to an injury.
I know one of the things, you don't want to think about it right now if you're Coach Eric Willett, but you're saying, hey, listen, if I got to beat High Point, I'd rather do it in February.
So Bravo with the 2-0 lead after one period. He comes into this match 9-5. Trevor Agumbau 1-4. Another one of those youngsters, just a sophomore for Newton.
Nice recovery by Agumbau. I thought Bravo was out for it. It was only a question of if he was getting 1 or 2.
We talked earlier that you did about North 1 Group 2, High Point, Kittatinny, Newton, Jefferson, and then a couple of sacrificial lambs that come up from Bergen County.
And I believe all of those schools could wrestle each other. I'm not sure if Newton and Jefferson are wrestling. I know for a fact Kittatinny and Jefferson are.
Well, good job here by Auerblau. Augenbaugh trying to get something going here against Brevoux.
Of course, Kittatinny moving up to Group 2 was a very late move, and I think it surprised a few people. I don't think we would have seen Kittatinny in Hanover Park had they known Kittatinny was going to go to Group 2. We may not have seen Kittatinny in Jefferson.
A High Point Kittatinny canceled because of it.
Yeah.
They were supposed to wrestle February 2nd. R.J. Brevoux picks up the points with the reversal. They'll take the 4-0 lead, 35 seconds to go.
Which is a shame. You want to do something legislatively, mandate that Kittatinny, Newton, Jefferson, and High Point all wrestle each other every year.
I can see the reasoning. They're going to wrestle that Friday night, and whatever have the PowerPoints, they could wrestle Monday or Wednesday, or possibly even Friday. So
Yeah.
you're going to go, I don't know, are you going to put out, I know it's Kittatinny, High Point, and you want to win, but you want to win a section title first. So are both
they're not
coaches going to put out full teams?
They're not mutually exclusive.
True. 4-0 lead for R.J. Brevoux as we head to the third
And if
period.
we look around here, look at how many people are in this gym right now for this match. How many people are in the gym for High Point, at High Point, or at Kittatinny for that match?
I agree.
And that's the key. The sport needs those matches. And again, I can say this sitting at an announcer's table. If I was a coach, maybe I'd feel differently.
I think the timing was what it was about. If they weren't wrestling February 2nd, they wrestled January 15th, it would have happened.
Well, then the athletic departments need to make that happen next year.
And I don't blame Chris Carroll or Todd Van Orden because, as you pointed out, the sections came out so late. That was already scheduled.
Right, and I think that also falls at that point. Now it comes down to the coaches making that decision. You have two coaches that have as much clout as any in this county, in their own school and in their own athletic department. You can tell John Gill, no, you have to wrestle that match. Or you're going to tell Johnny Gardner.
You're right about the clout in this county because, unfortunately, when they changed the districts and the regions, no one contacted John Gill and no one contacted John Gardner. They both told me that. Ridiculous.
It's a lot of times where a lot of things are being made, decisions are being made about the sport, and they're talking sometimes of what are regional representatives. And, and I hate to say it because I love the people that I coach against, but there are a lot of people that make decisions based upon what's best for them and not what's best for the sport.
Absolutely.
And that's what's wrong. You need to choose what's best for the sport. And it may not benefit you, may hurt you, but it's not about, as a softball coach, it's not about me.
Right.
Not about Morris Catholic. It's about this New Jersey softball. What makes New Jersey softball better? And with wrestling, same thing.
Brevoux, and he'll pick up another 2. So he's up to a 6-0 lead, 2 away from a major, but he's got 30 seconds to do it.
Well, at least the region is going to be in a respectable facility this year, being at West Milford and not being down in Bergen County College. That's an upgrade.
And Brevoux's going to get this win, and unless he picks up something quick in 7 seconds, it's going to be a regular decision 6-0.
Which is technically going to leave Newton still alive, but in reality, they're not.
So High Point will extend its lead to 31-13 with 3 matches to go. We'll go to 152. Looks like Trey Osborne and Wyatt McCarthy. Nope, Sawyer Fenlon. Sawyer Fenlon will come out.
Wyatt McCarthy.
So Sawyer Fenlon against Wyatt McCarthy. McCarthy coming off a tremendous sophomore year and football season this past fall. Wyatt McCarthy, the junior, is 10-1. Sawyer Fenlon, the senior, 4-7. Sawyer coming off a terrific soccer season for his dad for the High Point Wildcats, and he was voted #1 player in Sussex County by the coaches this past year in soccer. So 2 very good athletes going at it. McCarthy, the more seasoned wrestler. Look for McCarthy to do very well Saturday at Peaburg in the HWS. Going back to the regions held at Bergen County Community College, all you have to know about that is that the Bergen County Wrestling Tournament for high school, and McCarthy with the lightning quick move.
And that's why Sawyer Fenlon, Fenlon's on the mat. Not only because he's such a good athlete and he's such a tough young man, but he knows the one thing I got to do is get off my back here. If I cannot get pinned, we win the match. And that's easier said than done when you're wrestling Wyatt McCarthy.
Wyatt McCarthy with the 5-0 lead over Fenlon. 38 seconds to go. To finish my thought, the Bergen County High School Tournament is held at Rockland County Community College. That's all you have to know about that.
Well, the only thing I'll say is to call it the Bergen County Tournament is kind of a joke, only because so many of the schools don't compete in it. Bergen Catholic doesn't wrestle in it.
Right.
So what do you do with your Bergen County title? It's, and it's early in the season. It's not an emphasis for them.
It's more of an invitational than a tournament.
Right, and it's the Coach Association.
Right.
And if they can move that a little bit, they might be able to spice up. Maybe there's no support for it. I know when you talk about the spring sports, like softball, that's a top-notch tournament.
The Bergen Jamboree in basketball, unbelievable.
Absolutely. So
there's schools that rather win a Bergen County title than a section title down there in a lot of sports.
Right. Sometimes it's tougher.
Yeah, it is.
IHA was the #1 softball team in the state last year, and they got knocked off in the semifinals in the Bergen County softball tournament by a very tough Fairlawn team.
Wyatt McCarthy with the 4-0 lead after one period. We got that score fixed.
But wrestling's a different animal too. Bergen Catholic's going to some big tournaments. They'd have to save the kids some matches to put their Bergen Catholic, I should say, to put their best kids in the lineup. It's
now it's 5-0.
Luckily, the HWS coaches made that decision after the first couple years where some teams weren't even sending their varsity teams.
High Point didn't go that one year because they went to the Clash in Minnesota.
Right. And thankfully that has changed for the betterment of the. I still think, especially with the new districts now, there should be a Sussex County tournament. I think you should do away with. If I'm Sussex County high schools, I'm getting out and doing a Sussex County tournament.
We get our first stall warning.
I think it'd be great. And then I wouldn't cry when High Point and Kittatinny wrestle each other because at least we'd see them in Sussex County tournament.
Right.
Whoa.
Well,
inside trip.
My 2 cents, they should be wrestling in the district tournament like they had for the last 40-plus years.
Wouldn't even mind seeing Sussex County tournament being like a shore conference tournament and being the duels.
McCarthy picks up another 2. As he will go up 7-0 over Fenlon.
Have that Final Four one day in one location. Whoever gets to the Final Four.
Have it at Wallkill.
That would be amazing. People would love to go see that.
They'd sell out.
And you do a consolation match. Mm-hmm. You wrestle for 3rd place. Nobody wants to do it in sectionals. I mean, in groups like they used to, but you would there because that 3rd place trophy as a team title, for the team, would be meaningful.
Well, possible in giving up the point to Fenlon. Possible turning point was early in this match when McCarthy wasn't able to stick Fenlon.
Right.
Fenlon sticking around here in the 2nd period, 30 seconds ago. McCarthy's piling up the points, but he hasn't had him in real danger since then.
But I think McCarthy's being smart. I'm going to get points. I'm going to work him down. If I didn't stick him in the 1st period when he was fresh, I'm probably not going to get him in the 2nd period, but in the 3rd period when fatigue sets in, he's got a much better chance.
Well, we have 3 seconds to go in the 2nd period.
But as we saw from Fenlon last year, he's very smart about giving up bonus points. Coach Eric Lett trying to calm McCarthy down. He's getting a little frustrated.
And Fenlon's strong for 152. He's pretty physical. So the second period comes to an end. Wyatt McCarthy with a 9-1 lead over Sawyer Fenlon.
Fenlon will take top.
Pick up the escape. 10-1 our score.
An athletic move, all for naught, but does wow the fans.
Wait, I know you used the term. Would that fall under the category of funky?
Yeah. Wyatt McCarthy is funky. Let me tell you, I said it before. I think he lost to Austin Scrivani his freshman year against Kittatinny. And I believe my statement was that's going to be the last time he ever loses to a Kittatinny wrestler. You want to talk about a funky match? Austin Scrivani and Wyatt McCarthy, you don't get any more funky than those two.
Absolutely. 1:21 to go here in the third period.
Or older brother Garrett Scrivani versus anybody from Phillipsburg.
True. 12-2 our score, excuse me. Minute to go. Fenlon trying to avoid that major decision, but he's going to need to get some points.
Doesn't matter. Major is meaningless. He just needs to stay off his back. As long as he doesn't get pinned, the match is over and High Point wins. Newton needs 18 points out of these last 3 matches to tie.
50 seconds.
I haven't looked at the tiebreaker yet because until they get one pin, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Come back to the middle of that, 43 seconds to go.
The fans can boo, but Sawyer Fenlon's doing exactly what he needs to do.
There's the stall point.
Sometimes you wear that boo like a badge of honor. When the home team, when you're the visitor and the home crowd is booing you, it means you're doing your job.
15-3 our score, 22 seconds to go.
Especially when you're wrestling a kid that I fully expect to be a state medalist this year.
No doubt in my mind. And he had a great football season. One of those unsung kids, played outside linebacker and some safety. And in the Delaware wing T was the lead blocker on those sweeps and bellies for Chase Kramer. Wyatt McCarthy, terrific year, picks up a couple more. 17-3.
I like to call it the Parzero wing tee because it was really his adaptation of it.
Did he give him the point? Nope, 17-4. Fenlon will keep it away from a technical.
And that'll win the match for High Point.
So 35-13.
31-17. Got to add the points to the right side.
McCarthy with the win.
60 pounds for Newton, Jonathan Borgnoni.
Jonathan Borgnoni will come out for Newton. Borgnoni 10-1. And they will forfeit.
I think we're going to see 2 forfeits here.
So forfeit. Borgnoni gets the win. 31-23 our score. And
170 pounds for High Point, Robbie Turo.
Robbie Turo will come out in our final bout of the night.
For Newton, Nick Briganti.
And Nick Briganti coming off a tremendous football season. Him and Johnny Van Ness, the 2 best defensive ends in the county by far.
No doubt.
And when Chase Kramer was hurt during football, he came in at fullback, and they really didn't skip a beat. That's no insult to Chase Kramer. That's a compliment to Nick Briganti.
And to the depth of the Newton program.
Exactly. Toro 10-5, Briganti 6-6.
And again, this could be a match that Turo needs for seeding for Saturday because you really must smart. If you don't need to wrestle matches here, you're probably going to forfeit and just say, I got to keep my kids healthy. And that I don't have a problem with.
I think Robbie needs mat time. He missed last year due to injury. So I love that he's out here. And he was a key kid as a sophomore, Robbie Toro, who gave him some points. we said Toro 10-5, and Briganti's 6-6. Final match of the night. High Point has wrapped it up. 170 pounds. With the forfeit, Borgononi will move to 11-1. Well, coming into the season, Coach Eric Billette from Newton excited. He's got well over 30 kids in the room. I think at one time he's at 38. I don't know what his number is now, and that's tremendous. Kittatinny, I believe, has 33 going in, John Gill told me. So tough loss for the Braves tonight, but Nick, as you said, this is going to pay off down the road.
Absolutely. It's only going to make them better wrestling this level of competition. And now these kids know what they need to do if they want to be ultimately state champions as a team. Well, they're going to have to get through High Point at some point. They're going to have to get through Kittatinny. They're going to have to get through Jefferson. They're not going to see all of them. But right now, I think High Point is the favorite in the section.
I'd say so right now, but not saying it because you're sitting next to me. I never count out John Gill in anything.
Well, Kittatinny's got some spots where kids are going to have to step up their game between now and the end of the year, and they're going to have to get the matchups.
Nothing there as Brigante trying to use his physicality there. And what are your thoughts about this High Point team? Solid top to bottom.
They're a typical High Point team.
Yep.
They wrestle smart when they're the underdog. They know how to give up bonus points. They know how to win the close matches. They score on the edge of the mat. And they don't hurt themselves.
And Toro picks up the reversal.
You don't throw legs on High Point. I just want that to be the 9 millionth time I've said it on our airwaves.
We should put that on tape and just dump it into every match. You talk about a Sussex County dual thing. I think North 1 Group 2 is going to be that with Jefferson, the honorary Sussex County member. And congratulations to Billy Koch, the former Pope John head coach. He's now the athletic director at Jefferson after John DiColo retired after 40 years in education, last 20 at Jefferson as principal and AD. Billy's a good guy. Did a great job with the Pope John program.
He did. And, he got to cut his teeth a little bit last year as an AD at Montville.
Yep.
Billy's a very good guy. I wish him nothing but the best of luck. John DiColo will be greatly missed. You're talking about a guy that is, from an athletic director standpoint, he's a legend. He really is.
He's nationally known.
It's such an overlooked position, except when people don't like the athletic director. Then it's something. But you're talking about a guy that's been at the forefront of sportsmanship and fair competition. Just a great guy, and I can honestly say the 6 years I got to coach underneath him was just an absolute pleasure. And I've never had an athletic director that coached the coaches more than John DiColo.
Well, Brigante out of the scramble picks up the point. He trails 2-1, 8 seconds to go here in the second period.
But that's also because you got to remember, he's a guy who was tremendously successful as a coach himself.
Soccer, and especially in softball, 160 wins. State section title, a Morris County title when he was at Mount Olive. And speaking of athletic directors, I want to thank Ryan Hashway, the Newton AD, for getting us a table. He's one of the best around, although he's new to it. He's great, and I can't think of a better guy than Todd Van Orden over at High Point.
Right. Well, as I told DiColo, I'm going to temper your softball accomplishments because I don't think they had windmill pitching yet, and you used the white ball.
It was 43 feet.
Yeah, it was what? They were probably throwing from 35 at that point, maybe 40. So, I told him there's like two different eras in softball.
Like the dead ball era.
I told him, you coached on fields that didn't have fences.
Right. Toro trying to get something going here. They're looking for a stall against Brigante. Nothing yet. 1:20 to go here in the third period. Well, we have a lot of good wrestling ahead of us this year. Even though High Point and Kittatinny aren't going to wrestle, Newton Kittatinny is going to be a barn burner.
Absolutely.
And although on paper, Pope John looks like they'll probably take care of Sparta, but remember last year, Sparta hung around in that match. So that's always going to be a good win. And I also think we have Jefferson Sparta on the docket, and Matt Muscatello's got a lot of talented kids down there in Jefferson.
That's like a Jefferson collision with that Sparta coaching staff.
Yes.
Both from Jefferson.
Although you might know, I haven't seen Ranzio's name since the Knowles tournament. I don't know if he's hurt.
I have not. I've reached out to Matt Muscatello a little bit just to check in, see how he's doing. Matt's a great guy. I enjoyed my time at Jefferson getting to know Matt better. And he's probably, other than John Gill, the person I have the most fun busting their chops.
So Toro with the 2-1 lead, 35 seconds to go, third period. High Point has this match already wrapped up, but these are more confidence-building wins for a kid like Robbie Toro, who was out with an injury.
The Toro's got to stay out front because he's got that stall warning, but he's riding a hooked leg, and I'm sure Eric Ballett's letting the official know that, but Borgognoni's got to do a little bit more on bottom if he wants to get that call. And your head on the mat is not a good sign.
Well, the stalemate.
Good stalemate call. Very good stalemate call.
Five seconds. And Robbie Toro's going to post the 2-1 win. And High Point's going to walk away with a 34-23 victory as they will move to 10-1 on the season, as Newton will fall to 3-4, as this will be a Freedom Division 1-0 now for High Point, 0-1 for Newton. So that'll wrap it up here from Newton High School. For Gina Barbagallo on the numbers, our cameraman Alec Bello, my partner Nick DeGennaro, I'm Dan Cleary. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again soon on Channel 10 and MugsMedia.com.